being the fastest quarterback you've never seen. I'll be right back. There's no quicker way to get into DFS. Play Super Draft today and see for yourself.
We're behind. They're all fired up. What we got to do? First place, our defense has got to go out there and take the ball. Then when we get the ball, we got to have 11 people that's going to do their job and try to score every time you get the football. If we do that, we'll be all right. Do that, we'll be all right.
Damn it, if you want that smoke, you better come to the right place because we got that smoke for you right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to introduce our new host, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Roll Tide and Rise Up. Roll Tide, Rise Up. How you doing today?
I'm good, fellas. How you guys doing?
I want to know where your picture's at on the intro. I don't know why that ain't in there because you're a team player now. That's all I'm asking.
And the guy who's putting me on Front Street, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Spencer. Spencer.
Good to see everybody. How y'all doing?
And the coolest mofo of all time, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Willie Nelson. I'm just kidding. Waylon. Hey, Waylon, how you doing? Before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, you know how we start the show. There's been a lot of good, a lot of stuff going on lately, and we want to go ahead and just give our dedication real fast to a great woman. Here we go. Oh, that's not the intro. Hold on. Sometimes, you know, hey, players mess up. Here we go.
Production. It is my great honor to dedicate tonight's show to Navy Admiral Michelle Howard. In anticipation of her career in the military service, Michelle Howard attended the U.S. Naval Academy to prepare herself to join the graduates from the Army Command and General Staff College with a master's degree. While participating in military operations like Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Howard rose through the ranks of the Navy, and she advanced her knowledge of the military command and leadership. Upon taking command of the USS Rushmore on March 12, 1999, Howard made history when she became the first African-American woman to ever command a U.S. naval vessel. Several firsts followed this, as she eventually became the first African-American woman to reach the 3-star ranking in any branch of the military service. And most recently, she became the first ever female 4-star general before her retirement in 2016. Howard was an increasingly important contributor in the U.S. Navy, leading several sensitive naval operations during her career, including the famous 2009 rescue of Captain Phillips, a cargo ship captain who was abducted by Somalia pirates. And everybody should know that story by now. And for this, all your service and great admiration for the America Navy, Admiral Michelle Howard, I salute you. Thank you for your service, ma'am.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we already got people in the chat room to see who's online right now. We got Nick Saban Jr. in the house. What's good, family? Roll Tide fam. We got Nick Saban Jr. again. Roll Tide Nick Jr. Probably Roll Tide. You know you're a host now. Roll Tide Rise Up.
I have to be in the comments, man.
I'm glad he's in. I'm glad he's in the chat. I'm missing the chat.
William Bryan's in the house. Roll Tide, everyone. And the guy I talked to last night for 2 hours, and he wanted to get off the phone with me, but I kept him on there because it irritates him. Justin's here, and he said, "What up, guys?" All right. So today we're going before George Teague gets on, and hopefully he gets on because we have a history of telling people we're going to have people on, and they never show up. But today we got George Teague, you know, the 92 championship team. And you know what? I'm starting to get mad at Auburn fans. And they
no way. I can't believe that. An Auburn fan pissed me off.
Auburn fans are pissing me off. And you know what? I'm gonna give you top 10 reasons why they should keep their mouths shut.
Started.
Top 10 reasons why Auburn fans should keep the mouth shut. 10.
I know you did. No
one gives a crap about what Bo Jackson did 40 years ago. No,
bullshit.
Not one person cares. No one cares.
I do. He's an awesome player.
Oh, give me a damn. You know what?
Jesus.
There you go. No one cares. He gets on. Listen, look, Auburn fans, you got to look to the future, okay? You got to look to the future, okay? Stop looking to the past. Number 9. Harvey Updike punked your asses. He paid $7,000 of an $800,000 payment. He basically paid $83 a month, and your asses are still crying. Why did he pay more? Because he's punked you. He punked you. Y'all bunch of little bitches. Number 8. Number 8. No loyalty. You get no loyalty for the coaches. Right now, since 2008, you have 5 coaches. Since 2007, we only had one coach? These have some loyalty. Number 6. Y'all still trying to pay off Cam Newton. Number 5. You don't even know who your mascot is. Is it an eagle? Is it a freaking tiger? I mean, come on. Number 4. Your women are ugly. That's all I got to say about that.
I wouldn't go there. I would not go there now, brother.
Well, okay, well, I know you.
One of our great quarterbacks, married a lady from Auburn.
Hey, listen,
gorgeous.
Listen.
Gorgeous.
Listen, if you like that, then go ahead and you can date that.
Don't even go there. Come on now, be nice.
Number 4. That family tree goes straight up.
I ain't gonna say a damn word on that one.
Number 3. Your fans are idiots. That's all I got to say about that. Number 2, you haven't won a national championship since 2010, and you had to pay for it. The last one before then was in 1951, and it doesn't really count. Stop acting like, every time bring up the 2013 field goal kick. Nobody cares. We moved on. And
okay, what's worse than that? What's worse than that? Auburn fans bringing up that, or all these Georgia fans thinking they won one last year, so they're winning every one.
I'm not talking about Georgia fans. Honorable mention. Bo Nix left your team to be a second string for Oregon. That's how bad your college football team is. And the number one reason.
They're going to win. They're going to win game 1. Oregon's beating Auburn. Georgia. Game 1.
The number one reason for Auburn fans to keep your mouth shut, because y'all a bunch of bitches. And that, my friend, is the top 10 reasons why Auburn fans should shut the hell up. Yeah,
take it from here, Waylon.
1957, not 1951. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Did I?
Thank you.
Who cares? Nobody cares. That's the thing. No one cares. No one cares. And Spencer, I think you starting to act like a damn Auburn fan. You're like, oh my God, it's Auburn.
My fucking ass.
Bo Jackson. I love Bo Jackson.
This does not stand for Auburn, I promise you. And if you look behind me, none of that does. I promise you.
The intern for Auburn, but she came from what? Where did she come from? She didn't come from Auburn, Alabama. I'll tell you that. Roll Tide. So listen, while I was doing the top 10, Spencer was all about that Auburn love. We had some Alabama news. What we got in the news today with Spencer?
Actually, much as this going to piss you off, and I'm kind of glad it's going to, I'm not going there. There's nothing been proven. There's no facts out there yet.
What are you talking about?
I know exactly. Somebody else has been accused, and all that.
I'm not talking about Jerry Judy.
I'm talking.
You remember when I told you during the intro? I said look up some Alabama news.
Yes,
I didn't say bring up Jerry Judy.
It ain't proven yet. It ain't.
I never told you to bring up Jerry Judy. I didn't tell you to bring that up, especially after I do a top 10 of freaking Auburn crap.
That's my point.
But why
That's
would you even bring it up?
To what you just brought up.
I just said,
I'm gonna hold my opinion until the facts come out.
That's not the Alabama news I want to bring up.
Then bring up what you want to bring up.
Good news, like what Nick Saban had for lunch today. Jesus,
what did he learn today? Nick Saban's the one that's the
that's all the Alabama football
college football. He's warning everybody what he's going to do.
Well, you know what?
They just don't listen.
You know what? I just looked up Alabama football news and everything is Jerry Judy. Never mind.
My point exactly.
Jordan, we could talk about the tampering allegations, quote unquote.
Oh, there we go.
That's Alabama.
How are you going to talk about that? There's no rules.
Nick Saban denies Alabama football violation. NCAA rules is recruiting ex-Louisville Cardinals wide receiver Tyler Howard. Roll Tide, rise up. What you got to say?
Just like Spencer said, one, there's no rules. Two, you're talking about a coach that's disappointed that probably his top player that he had left the program. Regardless if he came to Alabama or not, he was leaving. So if he went to Michigan, were they tampering? If he went to USC, were they tampering? If he went to Texas, were they tampering? You follow?
Yeah.
Of course, Alabama's going to be bad because, we just number one. But like some other people said before, kids talking. Actually, Waylon brought this up. Kids talking, social media. Everybody kind of knows with the way the world is today, there's no. Before you had to wait on news. Something happens, right? we had to wait to come home to watch the 6, 7, 8 o'clock news or whatever. But if something happened today at 10 o'clock, 10:01, I know exactly what's going on. The whole wide world knows what's going on. So everybody's connected. Whether he talked to some Alabama players or not, who knows? I don't know, but that's not tampering. Saban has been in Alabama since 07 with a perfect record as far as him being above board, doing everything by the book. Why would he risk everything that he's done, everything that he's accomplished to tarnish his image by getting tampering? It's just all, to me, it's a coach that's hot-headed, sad, and mad, pissed off that his player left. And you got to point the blame, so why not point it at Alabama and Coach Saban?
And some other, Waylon, you got any input on that?
Same thing. It's just if somebody got mad, they'll get over it.
Waylon spoken that good stuff. Spencer,
I got a shitload of input on this one, but you want to give me something else?
Okay, here we go. Bo Scarborough just signed with the Stallions.
Yes, which I'm very proud. He's an outstanding player. He always has been, and he got overlooked by the NFL. And I'm glad that he has his opportunity to show what he's all about, because he's one hell of a man, one hell of a player. And, I mean, just like Trent Richardson, he had to come down a little bit to show everybody what he's all about. So I'm happy for him. I am tickled to death.
Well, Tab, rise up. What do you think Bo's going to do for the Stallions?
I think he's going to get in there and put his head down and go to work. We all know what kind of running back Bo is. Like Spencer just said, I'm ecstatic for him. I'm happy. And I hope that this leads to bigger and better things. Whether he goes back to the, I hope the USFL stays. I'm liking what I'm seeing, especially from Birmingham Stallions. And I think he's going to get in there and have a successful, career.
Waylon, we got probably 200 arena football leagues. We got a big arena football league. We got the USFL. Whatever the Rock is going to do with the XFL, we still got that coming up. We still have the CFL. We got a lot of football going on during the off season. What are you more excited about? Are you more excited about all these arena football leagues opening up? Are you excited about the USFL? You excited to see what the XFL is going to do? What are your expectations?
Arena football was always fun to watch. I mean, the USFL was, some of us was old enough to remember when it flopped years ago, but I hope it doesn't. We want it to succeed. It's a good thing, and whatever the Rock does, if you smell what the Rock's cooking, can you smell what the Rock's?
Spencer, what you got to look forward to?
Well, me personally, what I'm looking forward to is proving the famous Justin Riley from Justin Riley Network wrong. When he goes. I mean, this man's out there going, what's Bo going to do here? What is it? We need a pro football team in Alabama. We have no pro football team in Alabama. It just don't damn matter. We have an Alabama pro team. It's called Alabama.
Well, I want to say this for everybody who talks about we don't have a pro team in Alabama. Y'all need to start supporting these pro teams opening up in Arena Football League and in the USFL. But ladies and gentlemen, he is part of the 1992 National Championship team. He is one of the greatest football players to ever hit the University of Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only George Teague. George Teague, how you doing today?
Man, I'm in the house, baby. I'm in the house. What's going on, fellas?
George, I'm going to take it first. The 1992 team is one of my favorite national championship teams. Not only my favorite national championship team, my favorite Alabama team. I've talked to Terrence Lynch. I've talked to Langram. I've talked to almost everybody on the national championship team, and they say you are probably one of the greatest players ever to hit Alabama. Your thoughts?
No doubt.
Well, I don't know if you're asking me to deny that or but you know what? We had a lot of really good teammates. I think that the makeup that we had was just outstanding. I recently just tweeted about, what the level of players were on that team, and we had so much talent. I was just happy to be a part of it. I don't know that I was the most talented guy there, honestly. I mean, when you have Eric Curry and John Copeland, those guys up front, kind of made my job easy, or easier anyway. Having Antonio Langum, Sam Shade out on the, other parts of the secondary. I mean, Derek Golden I could just go on, man. We were loaded. So I kind of rode the coattails of those guys, just try to find my way into the National Football League.
All right. So I'm going to tell you what, we're all excited. We only got you for like 20 to 25 minutes. So I'm going to step away and let the guys go at it because they are like foaming from the mouth right now.
Yeah, we're foaming at the mouth. Joey, shut the hell up for a minute, please. First of all, Mr. Teague, I want you to know that I personally, as a veteran, want to thank your father for being a veteran. First and foremost, thank you and thanks to him. And then my second thing I would like to put out here right quick before I turn it over to the gentleman that's really got major questions for you is, will you talk about yours and Bill Curry's relationship? Because I know It had to mean a lot for you to not go to Michigan and go to Alabama. It had to be that personal connection.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And thank you for recognizing my pops and, about the military and stuff of that nature. I got a mad respect for anybody that's been, in service and protecting us and giving us the things a lot of us take for granted. So thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
Bill Curry and I think it was a very good relationship. Most people, forget about that. They only associate me with Gene Stallings. But coming in under Bill Curry meant a lot. He was a disciplinarian. You start talking about the armed forces and things. And he was one that was very, just by the book, on time, got to be there. So he laid the foundation for me as a freshman on what college football should look like. He was one of the biggest influences on why I actually attended the University of Alabama. So much so that when I got inducted into the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame, I wanted to make sure that he was there for me because he really impacted me. He always kept up with what my kids are doing, my families are doing. He's always been there for me. So our relationship is close. We still talk, obviously. He's still inspirational. He's very open. He talks about a lot of critical things from not just football, racism and all that kind of stuff with him.
Right.
So I'm thankful for that very much.
Rise up. What you got? Thank you, sir.
Okay, George, with you coming out of high school, Houston, Alabama, what were your first thoughts when you stepped on campus? Like you left home, leave Montgomery, you come up to Tuscaloosa. What were your first thoughts? I mean, were you kind of scared, or were you just happy to be here and ready to get to work? Or
I think it was both. I was. It doesn't matter, that I was a full ride guy. I've already felt like you always had to prove yourself, regardless of what people thought about you, where you were ranked, what kind of projections you had. I felt like I needed to go in and create my own identity or own position on the team. So I came in like a walk-on, basically what I thought about it. So I was excited to be there, obviously, get a scholarship, take some burden off the family, those type of things. But I went in with the business mindset that I need to do right in the classroom. I got to do right out on this football field, and have people recognize me who far I was. So it was, I guess I would go with more nervous because I felt the same way when I went to the National Football League. As a first round draft pick, I still felt like I needed to go compete it made it worse, actually, to be honest, the second year after Bill Curry got released or fired. Then I had to do it all over again. So it was a tough little road for me for a little while.
Waylon.
Yes, sir. I mean, the 92 team, I guess some of us is sort of old enough to remember it. Got a little gray on the chin. That's one of my most football teams. And I go back to Coach Bryant. Of course, I'm getting old now. But one thing I will ask, how did you get along with my crazy cousin, George Wilson? Was he a pretty good guy? Did you always get along with George pretty good?
Yeah, I'm glad. I didn't know that was your cousin. That's cool. And you can see I got my grade going. Yeah, I try to hide my grade most of the time, but sometimes I just got to let it go and let it be. But George Wilson was great. You know, he was one of our captains that we had in the 92 championship season as well. Kind of like I'm going to say the quiet killer, you know, just kind of brought his pail, went to work, got stuff done. Wasn't overly vocal because we had a lot of guys like that were you know, flamboyant, I guess is a word that I could use. But George was really more of just, hey, man, let's put in the work. I think we were similar in a sense. Let's just go out here and do it. We know what we're supposed to do on and off the field. We know we got a chance. That's why he was voted and brought in to be a captain like that, because he just came to work every day, man, and just did his stuff. So you should give him a lot of kudos because of how he represented our school, how he represented our team, and helped lead us to a national championship.
Yeah, he did. He got that from his dad. I mean, that whole side of the family was athletes. His dad was on Coach 61 team, you know, and my ex-father-in-law played at Auburn in 50 on that national team. They were great guys, great players. They loved the game. I know that. They loved it.
Hey, you need to tell Justin Riley to close his mouth.
That's what I was about to tell you. I was like, Justin Riley from the Bama Standard just said, did George run out of his supply just for men? That is the Bama Standard, George. Bama Standard. So, you know, when Justin hits you up for a guest spot, you just remember, you just come on over to the CTS.
That's
anytime, brother. Anytime.
Justin helped build the CTS, so Justin always got a special place in our heart. But I have to ask you.
Go ahead. You ain't got to ask a question.
I got to ask you a question, man. That play against Miami in the national championship game. Have you been on the CTS before on the Bama Standard? You've been on the Bama Standard on Justin Riley's page. And I never had the chance to talk to you personally, but I always wanted to know about that play, the famous play that made history when you striped that ball from that defender from the wide receiver. What was going through your mind when you did that? Was you planning on tackling, or was your plan to get the ball?
Well, I appreciate you clarifying for what play, because I was thinking, which one is he talking about? Is he talking about my
Thank you.
touchdown, or is he? I didn't know where you were going there for a minute.
Well, I know you intercepted the ball.
A lot of great.
But this play is the play that is in the history books.
Well, it depends on who you ask, because a lot of people say it ain't a play, and I get mad every time I hear that, because it was a play. There was a penalty on the play. So the game might have been a little bit different if I didn't catch him. But to answer your question, though, my first thoughts were to just go make sure I could tackle him. I was scared, man. I was out of position. You probably heard me talk about this before or something. Yeah. I was in cover 2, was supposed to be in deep half, and I was out of position. I was tired, and I was hoping that Willie Gaston was going to make the play. And he didn't. So I had to go get him. So my first thought was really, man, I just got to hurry up and catch him and make the tackle. Well, as I started getting closer, I knew I was going to catch him. That became very evident to me, and my mind changed to strip the ball. That's what Bill Oliver always taught us. defensive coordinator. Just when you get there, figure out a way to try to get the ball out of their hands. So I really, really just went into that, and I just went to take the ball away from him mode. Now, I didn't expect it to come in my face and do all that kind of stuff. I just felt like I needed to go ahead and just try to get it out of his hands. So when the ball started coming up, man, it was just that's my little George Teague mojo or whatever you want to call it, just kind of came out.
Justin Riley wants to know what it was like to be in the NWO.
You know what?
Wait, was you in the NWO?
I was. So he just saw the video.
Oh, you dumbass.
Are you for real?
Well,
I don't remember that. I'm the biggest wrestling fan there is. I don't remember you ever being on Nitro.
Short term.
Man, me and Hulk Hogan. I walked out with Hulk Hogan and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Go back.
Smack.
With the Packers. I mean, when I was with the Cowboys. My early days with the Cowboys.
I got the belt right here, baby.
No, throw that belt away. Throw Hulk Hogan's belt away because you didn't even know our man walked out with him.
I did not know that. I know Dennis Rodman.
Please don't put me. Hey, whatever you do, don't put me in the category with Dennis Rodman.
But you was in the NWO. So tell me about this. So you was Nitro. You walked out with Hulk Hogan when you was playing with the Cowboys.
I did. So there's a couple of things I was able to do. When I was with the Packers, I was actually on the TV. I was on Mad About You. I don't know if y'all remember this show, Helen Hunt and things of that nature. I had the opportunity to do that. I got with the Cowboys. I got to go out and do some wrestling stuff with them. And it was on TV. It was live, big match. No, I wasn't wrestling. I didn't fight, but I kind of walked out like I was a promoter and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I got you.
Just showing I'm
Joey's too young. Joey's too young. Looks like he was actually watching color TV back then.
I was part, damn good and well that I'm the biggest wrestling fan. I was watching Nitro and Monday Night Raw in the 90s. That was my jam, and I just don't remember George Teague going out there with the NWO.
Well, yeah, all I'm gonna say, I need to go ahead and tell Justin right now so you can hear it live and y'all can have this out there. Is that he just asked me to come back on his show again to be a special guest with another guest that he was bringing on. So he got to be careful about what he's saying out here. If he asking me to come back on his show,
I understand.
So, you know what I mean. He need to treat me right. I don't want to talk about him failing on all them deadlifts he be doing.
Hey, plus, NWO is for life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go ahead,
I've been known to clothesline. I've been known to clothesline a couple people. Whatever we need to do. That's how I started to learn how to tackle, man.
I saw that when you played for the Cowboys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What was it? Did you play for Dion? With Dion?
I did. I played with Dion, Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman.
What was Primetime like playing with Primetime?
Primetime was like he is now. He's funny. He's hilarious. But you know what he did? He was a big time worker. He's the biggest. Well, between him and Michael Irvin, they're probably the two biggest students of the game I'd ever really been around. They were so smart with tendencies and things of that nature. When you add their athletic ability, that's why they were so good. Dion was, flashy. But being around him, he's just personable. He laughs a lot. He cracks jokes a lot. But when it was time to work, the few reps that he would take in practice, because he didn't take a whole lot of them, it was all business, on the little bit of reps that he had. And you knew he was going to be ready to go, on Sundays.
We got one question from the audience. Who was the best wide receiver you had to cover?
Well, so I'm gonna flip this question back to them. I did do a poll for this too on my Twitter at Teague Football. So I'm going to ask you this: who would you pick between Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Michael Irvin, Sterling Sharp?
You didn't answer it.
Chris Carter, Terrell Owens. There's probably a whole lot more that I could.
I'm taking Moss. I'm taking Moss and Jerry Rice, but
Jerry Rice
or Moss. before we get the Roll Tide Rise Up and Spencer and Raylan, Justin did challenge you to a wrestling match.
Oh shit!
Shut up.
And
He too slow.
and to answer your question, Nick Saban Jr. said Jerry Rice, and Justin said Chris Carter. So Spencer, go ahead, man.
All right, I got this one, and I'm going to turn it over. I'll be out of here. But something I've been very curious about, being an avid supporter of your career, is what would you say to these young athletes coming out of high school today when you go into college and the importance of a college coach wanting you to try a different position and what that might entail for your NFL career or your career in life?
Okay. I'm going to give you a bonus answer while I answer that.
Thank you.
First of all, what I'm telling these kids now is with the NILs and all this kind of stuff, don't necessarily just chase the money, because it goes into what you're talking about, with, coaches and the influence that they can have on you. People don't ride for the brand. They don't want to go to Bama because it's Bama. They want to go now because of some deal that someone's cutting you and giving you some money. So they need to be careful with that. The money will come. It's gonna happen. The way the college is, the way the NFL is, or any sport. Yeah, if you're a good person, you're doing right, you're working hard, you're making plays, you're gonna get paid. Now, as far as the coaches and understanding what you need to do, man, there are plenty of guys. I can remember when Lemansky Hall came in as a linebacker and moved him to strong safety. He ends up having a great NFL career. You got to be open. Right. Coaches will tell you where you need to be and where you need to play. I came in as a corner.
Yeah, and went to safety.
Went to safety and didn't necessarily flip out of the defensive secondary. But, there's some hesitancies about that. It's different. Hey, I've only been doing this or whatever. So you got to be flexible and know that it's how we started this conversation in the beginning. The wanting to be able to compete, improving yourself wherever. So if they ask you, they probably see something there. They give you an opportunity. If they don't want you, they're going to sit you on the bench. They're going to ask you to do something else. So,
correct.
Coach asked you to come up. My son is another example. He was recruited as a defensive back. He ended up moving to wide receiver, having a good career there, catching touchdowns and doing some things. They saw something in him.
Yep.
He was wearing them out on scout team, so they said, hey, you need to come on over here and do this for real. So don't be so stubborn. Don't be so quick to pull the trigger. Oh, I got to transfer because coach wants me to do something different. Just hang in there, man. Prove yourself and make it happen. That's my words. Make it happen.
You're preaching the gospel. Thank you.
Yep.
Rise up. What you got?
Okay, out of your career at Alabama, what is your most memorable Iron Bowl that you participated in?
This is
good question.
This won't make people happy.
One we lost.
It is the one that I lost, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it was my first time ever going to Jordan Hare. It was the first time that we actually ever played in their stadium, and the intensity and the rivalry really took on a new meaning. We played in Birmingham, we played in Tuscaloosa, but the first time we had to go into Jordan Hare, it was like it was just crazy. They were rocking our bus. We thought we were literally gonna die to get into the stadium. Here I am as a freshman trying to do this stuff, and it was sickening. So that really built the true hatred that I had, I guess, or the intensity of, hey, this game, this Iron Bowl is something different.
Yeah, we just established that Auburn fans don't have no class. So yeah, we don't.
No, they don't.
They're a bunch of little bitches. Excuse my language. But go ahead, George.
I had a lot of friends that kind of like that. Notice I said had, because I don't have
Yes.
those friends anymore.
Yes.
So it just, that game is, people can't really, they underestimate the intensity of that rivalry. I think there's a lot of good ones across the country, but that the Iron Bowl is just something different.
Yes.
The next one that I probably liked the most was actually when I can't remember if it was John Copeland or Eric Curry knocked Stan White out. There's a painting of it, and he's laying on the ground just at the 50, just dead, like literally dead.
Eric Curry.
Yeah.
I love some Eric Curry. He's the funniest man. Eric is one of the funniest cats. Him and Amal Gowray are two of the funniest people. And Kerry Good. Kerry, we had him on last week.
Yeah.
If you get Kerry just talking, he'll have you crying because you're laughing so hard. But go ahead.
That's right. No, you're right. Now Eric Curry, he's a different cat now. He's the one. He'd always want to come get my car on the weekends or whatever because he ain't have no ride. And he would never fill that damn thing back up, man. I'd be like, man, you can't be going out to the club, whatever. Now you putting gas back in my car, man. Because this dude, he trying to take advantage of everything. Like, man, hey, man, you want some wings or something? Just anyway. I know I'm getting off on a tangent there, but that's how he was, man.
Before we get to Waylon, piggyback off that, this is from Justin. How intense were those games against Tennessee? This generation doesn't know how special that rivalry is. Yes, actually, everybody does. All the Alabama fans don't like Tennessee fans, and Tennessee fans don't like Alabama fans. But, however, go ahead.
Nah, don't Justin live in Tennessee? Is that why he asking about that?
Yes, he's dating a Tennessee guy right now. I mean, girl.
Oh.
I think. Oh, girl. I meant to say girl. I meant to say girl.
From Tennessee.
Somebody from Tennessee. He's dating somebody from Tennessee.
You know what? It was big, particularly for us. Now, I never lost to Tennessee either, so I didn't really kind of count it as a right. I think we beat them 9 years in a row or something. 4 of those were mine. But I'll never forget how Tank would play the Tennessee fight song on Tennessee Hate Week every day, loud as possible, in the doggone locker room. So all we hear is good old Rocky Top, and it really just drove you crazy. So by the time Saturday hit, it was, you didn't want to hear it anymore. And so the first time I went to Knoxville to play there, it felt like the biggest stadium I'd ever played in. It seemed like it was just straight up. It was one of the largest stadiums at the time. I'm still not sure where they're at now, but it was rocking. But they couldn't handle us. They had some good running backs at the time, but I was never really worried about them in my day. I was really more worried about Auburn than I was Tennessee. That seemed like a bigger rivalry to me. It still feels that way to me. There's some hatred, absolutely.
Yeah, I understand.
But it's not the same as Auburn.
It's a motto in Auburn. Win or lose, they're gonna celebrate in the shower together. So it doesn't really matter. Speaking of comedy, do you have Terrell Lynch on Facebook?
No, I don't really watch him. I know we're friends, but I don't do a whole lot on Facebook, man.
Okay,
you're trying to call me old.
Oh, Terrell Lynch. If you talk about funny people, his Facebook comments are the funniest of all time. He'll literally. This is one of the comments I remember on top of my head. For all the people who don't have, it was on Thanksgiving. For all the people who don't have anybody to spend time with on Thanksgiving, can I borrow some chairs? Hey, that's the kind of comments that man has. And I'll be dying laughing. But go ahead, Raylan. Roll Tide Rise Up. Y'all been talking about this interview we only got him for another 5 minutes, so y'all better go at it.
Yeah, go at it. Yeah, George, I got to see Deion play. You with him, I got to see Bo play. Tell everybody how fast Deion really was.
I'll give you one good example. I was a free safety. When Dion was playing, he was a corner, obviously. And it was always my job to protect the middle of the field, cover 3, cover 1. And Dion would specifically tell me, don't help me on the post ever. And I was like, what? And defensive coordinator would be like, man, you better stay in the middle of the field. And Dion would look at him and he would look at me and he said, do not help me on the post. I will cover the post. If it cuts in, guards a dig or something, help me on that one. Don't ever cover the post. So what free safety in the world wouldn't like that, right? So I loved it. We're playing against Atlanta. The guy, I kind of sit short thinking that he's going to run a dig, so he runs a dig and kind of up kind of thing. I jump the dig, and Jeff George launches it on the post. I am scared. Dion is behind the guy. He used to bait people to make them throw it. And I'm watching, and Dion just puts on some gear and actually jumps over the wide receiver's back, picks the ball, starts high stepping, going the other direction. And I literally became a fan, not just a teammate at that point. I was like, oh my gosh. Did anybody just see this, or was it just me?
Yeah.
And then I got on the sideline, and Mike Zimmer says he's not congratulating prime time. He comes to me and he says, you lucky as hell, Teague. You know you're supposed to be in the post. I was like, hey, man, I just kind of shrugged my shoulders like, he got it. So, I'll tell you how fast he was. That's for sure.
Roll Tide, man. Get it. Man, this is George Teague, man. We only got 3 more minutes with him.
Hey, listen, coming from Montgomery, I'm a Central High guy from Tuscaloosa. So we class 6A, you guys class 6A. We hated Montgomery dudes. So we hated Robert E. Lee and we hated Jeff Davis because those 2 schools were the schools that just put it on us. At the time, Central was the thing. We were the Falcons were the Crimson Tide in our minds, So coming from Montgomery, playing against Robert E. Lee and the Centrals, what your high school day, I know I'm going back. What are some of your favorite teams that you like to play against or that you hated to play against in high school?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me say, you sound like you're still scarred a little bit because our boys.
I am.
That's what I'm hearing.
I
am. Y'all should have kept your asses in Northport or some other little school out there or something.
No,
coming into Montgomery.
I'm from Tuscaloosa, baby.
He's naming names.
Y'all was good.
Norfolk was Tuscaloosa County High.
No, it's like y'all was like LSU coming into Tuscaloosa. You just can't don't be coming all up in there because you're gonna get smacked down. But the team that I did not like to play was Robert E. Lee. They were our rivalry. Yeah. They're in town. They were good. As Spencer McCracken, I think was a coach or something at that time. I'm forgetting his name. But it seemed like we couldn't ever beat them. They were just always loaded with folks. So I did not like to play them every year. And then outside of the city, I don't know if y'all remember this school called Viger out of Mobile.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Nasty.
Yes.
I did not like playing them. I think there was a running back by the name of Cadillac Williams that went to school there. Mm-hmm. And we played them in a playoff game early.
Cadillac who?
Williams.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you straight up. If Ronnie Brown and Cadillac Williams were Cadillacs and Rose Wars, or whatever they thought they were, Santonio Beard and Amar Galway was the Bentleys and the Jaguar. I'm telling you straight up.
Yeah. I
Cadillac
can
Williams couldn't even spell Cadillac Williams.
No, he couldn't. He sure couldn't. He wore an emblem around his neck. He wore a Cadillac emblem because he couldn't. Anyway, so he makes me act up.
You done messed him up, Joey.
He went for 80 yards on us on the first play of the game. I missed him, the tackle. I was terrified of him in high school, and I was like, man, I sure hope somebody, that's the time when you're begging for your lineman to make a tackle or the linebackers, and he got in the secondary too doggone fast. And I missed him. I looked up, looked back, and he was on his way to the end zone, and that doggone Viger band was cranked up, and we ended up losing, didn't make it to the championship game that year. So I'm still scarred on that one, like you are about JD.
Viger,
Yes.
Robert E. Lee, you guys, and one more school that I didn't like to play was Jackson Olin out of Birmingham, because we played David Palmer, and they made us look like kids. I was like, oh my God, this dude is running all over us. What in the hell?
Well, you still look like a kid, but anyway.
Hey, Waylon, you got one last question?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Go ahead.
Well, before we let you go, we got to know more about this podcast. It's the #1 podcast for all Alabama football fans, not just for Alabama football fans, for football fans, period. It's the George Teague podcast. I don't know what exactly is the name, where you can find it.
All right. Yeah, it's called Teague's Take. My last name, Take. Me and my son host it. Right now, we go every other week, live show on YouTube. You can find it at Teague's Take Podcast. It's on all the channels. If you want to listen to it, we shoot live, so it is on video on YouTube every other Wednesday right now. But you can find it on iTunes, any of your podcast channels of that nature. We do talk a lot of Alabama football. We do talk a lot of Cowboys football as well, and NFL stuff. So y'all need to come check us out, man. It's good stuff. Justin come in here. He harassed me on that too. We're big supporters of him and what they do on Bama Standard and all that kind of stuff as well. But y'all check us out at Teague's Take podcast. You can find us on Twitter, on Instagram there too. If you're trying to get to me, I do run those handles. So give me your thoughts, man. Let me know what you want to talk about.
Well, the one thing I want to say is an honor to have you on our channel. You've been on our channel before while the Bama Standard was with us. So you're not new to the CTS. However, we talked about comedy and Terrell Lynch, your teammate. We talked about how funny he is. Kerry Good, Amal Galloway, Eric Curry, they're funny. But this was a Facebook post from Terrell Lynch. Being a little older, I'm very fortunate to have someone call and check on me every day. He's from India, and he's very concerned about my car warranty.
He played too much, but he's right. I'll be sure to message him and tell him he must care about me a lot too, because he called me all the time too.
Hey, Spencer got one last question. Go ahead, Spencer.
One last question, please, sir. This one I've been holding back, chewing back snuff on.
What?
How?
What the hell?
You're too young to understand that. Mr. T,
You're
how's
too
that
ugly to
going
understand
to
that.
be fun working on the money that you got penalized for the Terrell Owens and the star thing going?
You said how's it working?
Have you made any money off of it, or you still had to pay for that in full?
No, that's why I'm on your show. I was figured you guys were going to pay me for this little bit of time.
That's Joey. Yeah, that's Joey. That's how Joey. Think him and Justin's going to do something.
There's a George Teague GoFundMe page that I need to have so I can get some of that money back, because those little 8 seconds cost me about 25 G's.
Yeah.
I need to get that back some kind of way. So
hey, that was the best thing in the NFL that when that happened. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought that was funny as hell.
Best thing for
Joey?
Did you just say, hey, my kids they was kind of upset, man. I couldn't buy a Nintendo that year, a Sega Genesis. I couldn't buy nothing at that time, man.
Lazy
No bag phones, no cell phones, no nothing, no two-way pager. I had to get rid of all that stuff, man. I'm shook.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is definitely the MVP of all MVPs. He's the greatest defensive player to ever put on the pads at the University of Alabama. From the greatest team of all time, the 92 National Championship team. Prince Wembley,
Right.
Eric Curry, Cooper, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only George Teague. George, thank you for being with us.
Appreciate
Nothing
it,
but
man.
love, bro. Nothing
All
but
right,
love.
man. All right.
Catch you
I look
later,
forward to
George.
getting back on in the future, man. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
If Justin Raleigh will let him.
Yeah, Justin, you try to take over the damn show, Justin. Damn. I made this channel. I know. Okay, good. I am CTS. Okay. Justin, calm down.
Look here, see this. Now I'm the damn owner now. Here you go.
By God.
Raiden say I'm the damn owner. He said, hell with all y'all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this edition of this Bama Smoke. It's a great addition to have Roll Tide Rise Up.
Yes.
Spencer and Waylon, they're here just smoking. That's all. That's what.
There you go.
There you go.
Justin, here's Justin. First of all, I don't sound like Cartman. Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
the way
Yeah,
you
you
was
do.
whining last night, I was
Yeah, you
talking.
do.
You know, one of my pet peeves when I know you want to get off the phone, Spencer. You know this for a fact.
Yeah.
When I know you want to get off the phone,
Just
I'm
hang
gonna keep you. I'm gonna keep you on the phone.
Yeah, but
And
then
Justin you do hang up, but Justin doesn't. Justin will still talk and and he's getting frustrated. So does Stingray. And I'll sit there and bring up some personal stuff till he wants to go. So I was like, so Justin, when's the last time you had sex? I got a business call. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and he's talking about, I got a business call. I was like, well, no, for real. When was the last time you had sex? Man, I really got to make this call. I got to make this call now.
Well, see, my kids have learned, and I've taught them very well. At the end of the conversation, you go, I love you, bye, click.
click,
Don't wait for a comeback. Just hang up.
click.
Yeah. All right. But look, like I said, it's a great addition.
Speaking of that, I love you, bye.
It's a great addition to have Roll Tide Rise Up.
Yes.
He's the best thing happening on the CTS. We got some big things coming up on the CTS. We can't talk about it now, but we got to talk about it right now. It's a business little meeting we got to have. And I got to go to work. But George Teague, thank you for coming on the show.
Yes.
Waylon Spencer, Roll Tide Rise Up. We are out.